So my company has generated over 25 million in student member client results on Amazon private label. And I'm going to break down exactly what is the easier way to generate an extra $5,000 a month in profit selling everyday items. And this is without, having to store the inventory yourself, ship, pack, or label anything yourself, finding your own customers, building a website or social media, or having tens of thousands of dollars to start up instead. And here are some of the accolades that we have. You see $25 million generated over the last few years, some store accounts, including my own, some other students as well, yada, yada, yada. Whole point is we've done this for a very, very long time. We've evolved our experience and skill set over time as a company, and we generate results. That's what we do. So if you've ever wanted to learn how to sell on Amazon and you want to make money through this platform, we do it pretty well. I'm going to show you how to do it. So this is my company, FBA Launch Club. And here's a breakdown of what exactly Amazon FBA private label is, because there's a whole different realm of models within FBA, which is like retail arbitrage, wholesale. We do private label, which is completely different, which I believe is the best model out of everything because it gives you the most scalability, which means you can make the most amount of money on there while you still own the product and the asset itself, and you have more control over your business and you have higher profit margins. Okay, FBA. Fulfilled by Amazon. That's all it means. Very, very simple. This allows anyone to be able to list a product on Amazon's platform and sell a product while using their logistics, all of their employees who are picking, packing, labeling, talking to customers, returns, and while the most important part, being able to ship products to customers within 1 to 2 days, prime shipping. Okay. Now, private label is something that a lot of people don't know, that they think it's all big companies that are selling on Amazon, but majority of it, 90% of it, are third-party independent sellers like myself and maybe some of you guys as well, where you could just put your own product on there. That's 90% of the platform, guys. That's crazy to think about first off when you realize like, oh, these are all just independent brands, really, right? So you can see like, toys, supplements, home, kitchen, sports, all these products, all of these like Ice to Recovery, Smurley, all EcoWise, these are all private brands, right? These are not, the Nikes or the legacy brands that you see out there. These are just individuals selling these products. So private label is essentially that. You're just creating your own brand over these products. You're not inventing something new or anything like that. So that's private label. Now, here's how it simply works. So, for example, let's say we're trying to source this ice cold plunge thing. You buy it in bulk and you can buy them at a wholesale discounted price of $15 a unit, but then you can sell it on Amazon for $120, right? You have to buy it in bulk, manufacture, and the shipping all totaled in. It takes about 60 to 90 days to get your product in, and then a couple weeks to get into Amazon's processing. Now you have to buy the inventory in bulk. You can order 100 units, 200 units, 300 units, whatever you want. Suppliers are actually very, very workable in those, and it can take anywhere between 60 to 90 days to get that into the States. Now, why would somebody buy on Amazon instead of just buying for $15 on Alibaba? It's because these suppliers and manufacturers only work in bulk. And if you do want to buy a product like this in a sample, you can, but guess what? You have to wait 60 days for it to manufacture and ship over directly to you. Versus if you just buy it on Amazon, it's going to take a day or two, right? So that's why. So how it works being the seller is when you manufacture the product, right? You're going to have the supplier manufacture and then send it directly to Amazon's warehouse. Then when Amazon receives it, they will directly send it to the customer, right? That it never reaches you. It should never go to you. The inventory should never arrive to you. You never usually see it. The only time you're going to see your product is through samples, which is where all the leverage comes in. You don't have to get a warehouse. You don't have to get employees. You don't have to do any of that. Everything is done from your computer. You can work at any time from anywhere as long as you have a computer internet connection and you have about 10 hours a week to work. It's completely private. Okay, so here's some key points on how to actually make money on this platform and do this correctly so you don't get screwed over and you're just losing money, okay? So key point here is you have to find a product in demand in a product market that's doing at least $100,000 a month. You can use software tools like DataBoss or Helium 10 to research the market. And I'll show you what that looks like. So let's just say you're looking for a stainless steel cutting board, right? So this is a product market in itself. Then you can use a software tool, like I said, Helium 10 or DataBoss, and this is what I'm using is DataBoss. It's gonna pull up the entire market. And you can see this total market is making $4 million a month. What I suggest is at least $100,000, right? And so that is going to show demand. That means that people are searching for the product, people are buying the product, etc. You can see all of these individual listings. This guy's doing $600,000 a month. This guy's doing $300,000 a month. Another one's doing $194,000 a month. You get my point. So these software tools allow you to see all the numbers on Amazon. Then you want to make sure that you actually have high enough gross profit margins. Ideally, you need at least 40 to 50% gross profit margins, which means this is just the Amazon or the sale price of the product minus Amazon fees minus your cost of goods. This gives you your gross profit. That should be over 40, 50%. If it's lower than this, you're going to have a really hard time getting profitable. And then you want to order enough inventory. You can't just order 50 units or 20 units. You need enough inventory to get enough data. So typically, I like to recommend placing a test order, which is what we do for all of our members and myself whenever I'm launching a new product, just a test order of anywhere between 150 to 300, maybe even 400 units if you're really comfortable, but you never full send 1,000, 2,000 units on a completely brand new product, at least for this platform, okay? Now let's go over the actual numbers of how you actually make money. So Amazon takes about 30% of your revenue, okay? The reason for that is because they are doing the packing and labeling and everything for you, all the heavy lifting, so they take 15% for that, and another 15% to be able to sell on their platform, okay? Because they have all of the customer base. So you don't have to look for customers yourself. You're always leveraging their organic traffic. So that leaves you with 70% that goes back to you. So if you sell something for $100, you're gonna get back $70 from Amazon. Now this $70 that goes back to you, this is what's gonna cover the cost of your goods, your advertising, and whatever's left over is your profit. So 20% will typically go to your cost of goods that are sold. Another 20% is going to go for Amazon's advertising platform that you're going to spend to acquire more customers. And this should leave you with roughly 25 to 30% profit margin. Okay, that's net profit after everything. Okay, so let's go over an example. How do we take a simple item like this, an everyday item like this, cold plunge right here, to generate $5,000 a month of profit? And how do you do that from home? Okay, so let's just say we're going to use this example for this cold plunge. We know that we can source it for $15, right? So let's say that we could sell it for $120, and if you sell 140 units, which is not a lot, that's only 4 to 5 units a day, right? It's going to generate you almost $17,000 in revenue. At a 30% profit margin, again, after Amazon fees, advertising, the cost of goods, and shipping, right? You're left with $5,000 in profit, okay? That is from working from home or anywhere you want. This is scalable, working at any time you want. You're not clocking in, you're not packing, labeling. You can start as little as $5,000. The cost of goods for this product was $15. Maybe we can add another, I don't know, $5 for shipping. So that's a $20 landed cost times 140 units. So that's going to cost you just under $3,000 just for the product itself. So very doable, okay? Now, here's the thing you got to do. This is what people make a mistake on. Don't just profit the $5,000, okay? Take that profit, reinvest it to order 2-3 times more inventory so you can grow the business. So then you can go from $16,000 to $32,000. And now your profit goes from $5K to $10K, right? Now you have more of a slush fund. That is how you create actual freedom financially, location-wise, and time. When you have a business that's automated, it's working for you, and the margins make sense. That's how you create it. Okay, we're not in this just to get rich. We want the freedom of time and location itself. And I'm not gonna say here that I'm gonna guarantee any results. No results that I'm saying all this is just examples. I don't know who you are. I don't know what your experience is. I can't guarantee you anything. But what I can show you and tell you is from the $25 million in revenue that we've generated for our members and the experience of that and what they've gone through and what I've gone through in order to see results like this. Okay, so again, nothing is guaranteed. I don't know what you can do with yourself, but I just know that I can share the experience that's worked for years and has generated a lot of money. Okay, so if this was helpful, I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you want to work with us and actually help you do this yourself, we have a ton of resources. You can book a call with us. We've got a link in the description for you to see if we're a good fit or if you're a good fit for our program as well. Ton of resources, whether you want us to do it for you, do it with you, or you just want the information itself. All right, so I hope this is very, very helpful to you guys. And if you guys have any questions, leave some love, throw some comments in. I'll see you guys next time.